Today's video is another teaching tag. This time it is the pandemic teaching tag from Pocketful of Primary. Hi there, welcome to Kafootball Land. My name is EJ Kafootballs. On this channel you're going to find content about teaching and lifestyle. I am a teacher in her 40s, a veteran teacher, a high school English teacher, a mother of 3 and an Australian, in case you haven't picked that up already. I'm going to answer the questions from Michelle from Pocketful of Primary. She has put out 10 questions for us to answer about teaching in the pandemic. Question number 1, are you teaching in person, hybrid or virtually? Explain how it works. Currently I am teaching in person. Everything is back to normal for us. We are so lucky, so blessed here in Australia. We did not get affected much by the pandemic where I live anyway. Victoria is a different story. I live in New South Wales, right on the beach on the mid-north coast, and because it's a regional area we were not impacted. We're quite a long way away from Sydney. We're about a 6-hour drive north of Sydney, and so we were so blessed. We only got a handful of cases right at the beginning and then nothing. However, we had about a 6-week period where we were thrown all the different types of learning. Everything changed so quickly. We were lucky in the sense that we could see what was happening in the Northern Hemisphere, and we knew that it was coming. It was like this big ominous cloud, and we're like, it's going to come. We're going to be shut down. It's going to be terrible. And because I'm on Instagram as well, go follow me by the way, Kafootball Classroom, we could see, or definitely I could see what my fellow colleagues over in the Northern Hemisphere were having to deal with, and we've at least got a warning. So because it hit later, and because we could see what was happening on the other side of the world, we kind of had a chance to sort of gather our resources and go, okay, this could happen, schools could close, this is what we could do if schools close. And so we sort of had a plan. However, during the time, once we did, we never actually officially closed, by the way, never. We had different information coming at us. Things changed a lot during that 6-week window, and first people were panicked and so the kids stayed home. Then we got told by the Premier that it was recommended that kids stay home. Then it was like, oh no, it's okay, just come back, everything's fine. And then it was, we think we should separate the kids into different ages, different stages, because, and then before that it was, kids can't get it, but teachers can. So for a time there we had kids socially distanced. So we had classes were spread out into like 2 or 3 different classrooms. We had to employ extra teachers so that they were physically, socially distanced. We have to do 1.5 meters. And then it was, oh no, kids can't get it, so let's just push them all back in together. But teachers could. So teachers have to socially distance, which was basically impossible in a school situation. I mean, I work in an office with 6 other teachers, and we are all, like, literally, our desks are squashed together. Anyway, that's enough about that. So currently we are in a situation where we are working face-to-face, teaching face-to-face. The kids are in the classroom. It's pretty much normal, and it has been for most of the time. Also, during that 6 weeks window, we had our 2-week autumn holidays, fall break. So that was the weirdest holiday I've ever had, because people were still in panic mode. We weren't going anywhere. We weren't doing anything except walking on the beach, and our beach is never closed, by the way. And yeah, it was just so strange. Question number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? I'm doing absolutely fine. Thanks for asking. I am so blessed and lucky to have a permanent job. So in New South Wales, in the public system, I will keep my job unless I do something wrong. I will keep my job until I want to retire. So I know that others are not as fortunate as I am, and many have lost their jobs, and many have had financial struggles and hardships and mental health issues. I'm okay, I think. I'm okay. Question 3, what is one positive thing about your format? And I remember when we first, all the kids came back and we could stand in front of our classes again. It was like a feeling of elation. It was just so glorious. It was like, this is what I'm meant to do. I can't teach through a screen. I mean, I can, but this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to have human beings in the flesh in front of me, so we can converse and we can interact in a natural way. And it was a beautiful thing. Number 4 is, what is one thing you're rocking during teaching in the pandemic? Well, I've actually made some videos back when we were during that time teaching in the pandemic, and it went from, let me just see, for us it was a bit different. For us it was roughly from the end of March to the end of May, for about roughly 6 weeks. So I made a couple of videos during that time. If you want to check them out, I'll link them up here. And I think that I was just really good at making videos because I have a YouTube channel, and being really organized and getting things ready ahead of time, explaining things. I think I was pretty good at that, and I'm just so glad it's over. Touch wood. Okay, the next one. Number 5, what is one challenge and how have you overcome it? I think the challenge was while we were working from home, having everything at home that was work related, and really trying to compartmentalize things and just check out from the work day. And one of my tips in one of my previous videos about this was to definitely have a knock-off time where you say, that's it for the day, I'm not taking any more questions, I'm not going to go back into Google Classroom and check where everyone's up to, I am just finished work. And even to the point where you sort of like pack up your laptop and all the bits and bobs and put them aside so that you can have your living space and mental and emotional living space back and have just family time then. Another challenge, I'm just going to squeeze one more in, Michelle. Another challenge I had was being a parent, especially a parent of a student with special needs, trying to help them at the same time as trying to help my students and trying to get myself organized as the teacher was a nightmare. It was terrible. And to be really honest with you, I worked really hard at doing all those things initially, and then I dropped the ball and I couldn't do my son and everything else. I just couldn't do it. So I allowed my son some flexibility, and I didn't expect him to complete all of the tasks that his teachers were putting online for him to complete, because I just thought, it's too much. It's too much. How much can a koala bear? Not this much. Number 6, what's one thing that's made teaching easier for you during a pandemic? The internet. Imagine if this happened before the internet. That would have been dreadful. Terrible, terrible. We would have been photocopying and posting and delivering and there were some students at our school who don't have the internet, and for teachers of those students it was really tricky because they did have to do all that sort of stuff. What is one change that you've made? I was already using the Google Suite for Education, so that's not a big change. But I was kind of also still using paper-based assessments, whereas now all of my assessments I do through Google Classroom, all of them, so that when I say that, I mean the assessments that are for reporting purposes, so that everything is in one place, and I just love it. And the feedback that I give them is all written on there, and the grade that they get, and any questions that they ask, it's all on there. And so I'm going to continue that into the future. I know that assessment is more than just for reporting though, and there are other forms of assessment that I do during the day-to-day running of my classroom that are not online, obviously. 8, what's been your favourite purchase during the pandemic? I didn't buy anything. High school teacher, we go minimal, we go no frills. I don't remember buying anything, actually. 9, how have you been taking care of yourself? So during that time when we were working from home, my husband and I went for a daily walk before 9 a.m. so that we could be all like, it was really nice spending that time together, and because I live near the beach, we walked alongside the water, and it was just beautiful, beautiful way to start the day. And because we had set everything up the night before to release, we scheduled it on Google Classroom so that if we were a few minutes late getting back home, the kids had all of their work and they could get started without us. So that was really great. What's making me happy during this time? The things that always make me happy. My family, my 2 dogs, living near the water. I'll tell you something that made me unhappy. And this isn't to do with teaching, but my family all live in another state, which is about a 4 to 5 hour drive away from here. And that state, Queensland, closed its borders. They opened them up just a fraction during winter, and we were able to go in and visit my parents, but then they closed them again and we were locked out. It's a bit upsetting. Anyway, that did not make me happy, and I really felt quite disconnected from my family. And I'm originally a Queenslander, so it was kind of quite confronting to be locked out of your home state. And also, we didn't have any COVID here where I live. We didn't have any. We did not have any cases of COVID. So that was kind of tricky. But anyway, I don't want to get political on here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do leave me a comment underneath and also check out some of my other videos. And until next time, don't forget to teach well, live well, and be well.